What's up, family? I'm Juan Castillo, and when I'm on social media, my favorite show to watch is the Don't Shoot the Messenger weekly podcast. Chris G, Professional Sutton, Rucker Report delivers sports the way it's supposed to be, real and authentic. So get ready to be entertained. My boys are ready. I'm ready. Let's go.
Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. I'm your boy, Professional Sutton.
And I'm your boy, Chris G.
And it's your boy, the Rucker Report, a.k.a. Jerry.
Ready? This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game.
Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished.
This is Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast.
X about me.
With Professional Sutton.
You already know.
Chris G.
My homie.
And the Rucker Report.
My family, what up?
They for real.
All straight with no chaser.
Let the games begin.
Let's go. Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast.
Welcome to another edition of Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. I'm your boy, Professional Sutton.
And I'm your boy, Chris G.
And it's your boy, the Rucker Report, Jersey.
Yo, man, where you go, man? Why you leave, man? This ain't nobody gonna see you but us, man. You know what I mean? Like this.
He said nobody gonna see you, bro.
Ain't nobody gonna see you but us. Listen, we got followers, B. Like we got people that actually pay attention to what's going on right here. You heard?
This is true. This is true.
I'm saying though, but like, I mean, but you gotta be on camera.
And I
you gotta be on camera though, man. I mean, so today, you know, I kind of want to, you know, leave off where we started last week because it was crazy last week. Last week it got bananas in here last week. You know what I mean? People was going at my man's Chris G, you know, wanting to talk crazy. And you know, we're just gonna kick it off because Chris made a comment last week, and again, of course, I made everybody clickbait but he did say it though, but I didn't put it in the context in which he said it. As you can see, Ruck eyes. Chris said that Allen Jonquez Iverson is not a superstar.
Hey, yo, hold on. Peyton Manning is not a Hall of Famer. Now you can
See, that's just a personal jab. Right
now you can continue on. You heard?
That's just a personal.
You know what I mean? So it got crazy. People going crazy. Oh, Hannibal was good. Yo, Hannibal was on. Hannibal slept on the channel. He said Chris G, aka Skip Bayless, aka Chris Bayless.
Chris Bayless.
They going for your neck, man. And yo, that's not right though. So Chris,
what's not right?
How they trying to attack you? They ain't even listening to what you're saying.
No, that's cool. I mean, you know, listen. I know why people feel the way they feel. It's the emotions. They can't take their emotions out of it. Allen Iverson and other superstars like him, you know, they play a big part of them growing up. So you can't see him as anything but a superstar. The debate that me and Hannibal was having at work was, you know, having a championship for me is built into being a superstar. That's one of my criteria. For Hannibal, he didn't feel like you needed a championship to be a superstar. And I said, that's cool. That's your criteria. I think Allen Iverson checks off all the other boxes. He just don't got that box. And once you start, for me, it was like this is why I don't budge on my criteria. He was like, yo, you take that out, he check all your other boxes. I'm like, yeah, that's true. That's very true. But then what about another superstar that got a championship but don't got the popularity or don't got the stats? Do I take those off of that one? You know what I mean? Once you start taking my criteria, once you start taking things off to capitulate to players that missed something that you think they should have had, you might as well take the whole thing down. So that's why I'm not budging on my other stuff.
You should.
Is there so the question I had from last week and the question I got from today, right? For you and your criteria, which I do want to say I really do not have a problem with, right? But is there a gray area for some of the people, basketball-wise, right? For some of those guys, I'm not going to say superstar because, of course, that's what we're debating now. But is there a gray area for somebody like Allen Iverson, for a Karl Malone, for a Patrick Ewing, for a Reggie Miller? Is there a gray area?
There's a gray area because there's like there was people. So I came up with 10 superstars.
Do you have that list?
All time.
I
think I could give it off the top of my head. I don't have it right in front of me. It's in my notebook. But
hold on, wait.
Before I get to that,
can you do if you can? I don't know if you have it in your phone. Okay, you know why you saying it? I'm going to put it on the screen so people can see like what you saying, so that way they can know, like they can be in the know. So what I'll do is like as you're saying it, I'm gonna have it on the screen, and then they'll scroll across.
As I say my 10 superstars.
Yes. So hold on, superstar, because I want people that just tuning in to see what it is all the time. All right, well, go ahead.
You know what? Hold on. I'll get to that point. Let me go get my list so I make sure I get everybody. Because it was tough coming up with the 10 because as to Ruck's point, there is gray area, right? It's like, man, this person right here. You like, for instance, you know who I had a hard time with? Now I wound up making him a superstar. But you know who I had a real hard time with? Julius Erving.
What?
Had a hard time with it. Had a hard time. He's in my superstar category. I'm not saying that he's not. Huh?
He got a chip though.
No. I know it wasn't the chip part. The influence part.
Let's get that list.
Is what I was having a little bit of struggle. Here's where I was having the influence part.
Let's get that.
The only reason I was having an influence struggle with Dr. J because I felt like his influence was limited to just basketball. And again, you know my criteria. Dr. J's influence was he was the first one really dunking on cats. And every NBA player after pays homage to Dr. J.
But he was a superstar though. But he was a superstar in his day.
He was. Because I feel like we're getting caught up in the minutia here. Dr. J is a superstar. Only thing I'm saying is I was struggling with his influence part because I felt it was limited to just basketball.
Right.
Okay. That's the only thing I'm saying. He is a superstar.
Hey, yo.
All right. See, Henny, you just talking.
Real quick. Right?
You passing now.
Just go left real quick, and then we're gonna come right back. Why Henny Bub profile pic look like an R&B album cover?
Bang.
You know what? I'm
Bang.
about to put him on blast. You know why, yo? Because he's making that new money now. He's making that new money now.
Don DeMarco.
He said, I can't be bothered with you peasants.
Let's get
out of here. Get out of here.
You got the list?
Yeah, get the list, yo.
All right, give me. You guys handle. Just give me 1 second. I'll go grab it. Just give me a second. Y'all, talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah. So I think that when people think of superstar, they only think basketball. But again, it's tough because we are going to talk about sports. Like Wayne Gretzky Wayne Gretzky is a superstar. You know what I mean? Tom Brady is a superstar. Pele. So again, when we talking about
you have to do that, right? You have to do that, right?
What? Pele?
No, Tom Brady. Man, shut up, man.
Tom Brady is a superstar. Stop it. You can say what you want. Tom Brady is a superstar.
You ain't my goat. Nah. You right. I can't hate on that. Tom Brady is absolutely a superstar. Absolutely.
So
get to that comment right there by Glenn.
He said,
I'm gonna say yes.
Oh, so again, we gotta see what Chris said. Superstar.
He not gonna say it because he a hater. He hate Melo. The only reason he's comfortable talking about Melo is because of Lala. But other than that, Melo's on the court accomplishments, right? And I think that's one thing that in this new era of superstar that we haven't really paid enough attention to, because, and I think I said this a couple weeks ago on the show, I don't think people realize that by the time Bron finishes playing, he will probably average career numbers as a triple-double, right? I don't
See,
think that we take into
I got
account how special Melo was. I'm not saying that he is that right now, but I think we're missing the boat on how special he was. Just
but he's not
like
a superstar.
people won't really, people kind of gloss over the fact that as great as D Wade was, nobody ever thought that he would probably be top 3 or 4 point guards of all time. I mean,
Yeah.
2 guards of all time, but he was. And you talking about the same draft class.
Right.
Chris Bosh is a Hall of Famer now.
Oh, 100% though. Chris
You know what
Bosh.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And the thing was, people will just look at Chris Bosh for his years in Miami and forget the years that he was killing everybody in the league in Toronto.
Chris
yeah.
just warning us. So the question was Melo
See,
super?
hold on, but see, this is what Hannibal do, right? This is what
Yeah, I know.
Hannibal and other people
Listen,
him
he's
do.
a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Right. So it's like, of course, Shaq is the superstar.
Exactly.
Of course, Shaq is a superstar. He gets all the criteria. But once you say one person is not a superstar that somebody really likes, then all of a sudden, you know what I mean? It's like, well, then you don't think anybody's a superstar. You start adding in and start saying wild shit like Shaq is not a superstar. Shaq is a superstar in spades. I haven't gotten into the rankings of the superstars, but Shaq would be in like the top 3 or 4 superstars ever. Ever.
Yeah. Because to your criteria, Shaq checks off every part of those boxes.
He's an A to A plus in every box.
Every box.
Every box. You know what I mean? You can make an argument that only Jordan and LeBron. Now I don't necessarily haven't went through it enough to get that exact, but you can make an argument that only Jordan and LeBron were bigger superstars ever than him. You can make the argument. Yeah. I'm not saying that is the truth, but you can make that argument. So, you know what I mean? You're not going to – I know Allen Iverson is your boys, but no.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about Shaq, too, that a lot of people discount. Shaq was a big man.
Yeah.
Name another big man that had his star power reach.
Only got 2 other big men on the list.
On the floor and outside the game.
Kareem.
I don't even think Kareem had it like that outside. Here's the thing. Kareem had reach outside because he changed the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But you're talking about Shaq from music to movies.
Exactly.
To the reincarnation of his career on TV, to the stuff that he does now as a DJ. Like, these are serious things that he has done.
But that's my point that Ruck is making. Like, that stuff adds into you being a superstar.
And this is why Carmelo is not a superstar.
That's why he's not a superstar. People get caught up is when I say they're not a superstar, because a part of the conversation we was having last week was Ruck said, for example, he was like, but you talking about mega stars, right? And it's because we only got these 2 categories ever. Like, you know what I mean? As we've all known, it's like you're a good player, you're a star, or you're a superstar. Those are or you're a bad player. Like, those are your categories. So it does, like, it creates a gap of players that are on the cusp. That's the gray area of superstar to star. So for instance, I think we could all agree that Chris Bosh is a star, right?
Yes.
I think the problem that people got with me saying that this person is not a superstar and they're just a star, I'll take Allen Iverson, for example. We don't see Allen Iverson and Chris Bosh in the same realm. So from me calling AI just a star, and then you consider Chris Bosh a star, you think I'm saying, yo, fam, he's just as good as Chris Bosh? That's not right.
Yeah, that's the gray area, right?
That's the gray area. But there is no room for that.
Now, I will say this. What I don't, Chris, I talked about a few people. When people start creating categories because they want to put their favorite players in, that's what I got a problem with. Like, for example, in the NBA GOAT Talk group, this dude said he had 2 categories. He had the greatest at their positions, right? Mm-hmm. And then he had GOAT at the position. So, for example, he'll have LeBron James, but then he might have somebody else in another category. You can't have 2 many lists. You know what I mean? Like GOAT and great, like great is in GOAT, like the greatest of all time. And I think people create these lists because they want to, rectify what they feel like. No, that's how I feel, and you can feel that way. But when we're talking about categories and lists, you have to like those. It has to be solidified in that greats. There are people that are good. There are people that are average, and people who just below. But people create certain lists just so that their players can fit into it. And I think that we can't keep doing that in sports because, hey, listen, who you like is who you like. Like I was a huge Dennis Rodman fan. Some people would say, okay, well, Karl Malone was better than him. Cool. But for me, I like Dennis Rodman. But I'm not going to create a different category just to try to solidify his greatness. He still was good. Those are the lists that I'm seeing, and a lot of people are just creating a list. So when you're talking about like what's a superstar, like I agree with Chris. When I think of superstar, I think of someone who could transcend off of the playing field. Like when you think about Tom Brady, like you don't even have to know football, but you know who Tom Brady is.
You know who Tom Brady is.
You don't have to watch one lick of golf, but you know who Tiger Woods is. Those are superstars. Wayne Gretzky. So those names just come in like that.
And Quet, to your point, that was my argument with Chris, because my argument with Chris was, I think just like you can drop Michael Jordan anywhere in the world and somebody's going to recognize him, I think you can do the same thing for AI, even without the other parts of the criteria. That's my only argument, because I feel like he transcended the cultures. Like I put it to you like this. You're not going to say the Fab Five was one of the best college basketball teams ever put together.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really say that because they didn't win a championship.
Right.
But if you say the Fab Five, people are going to be able to rattle off who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
At least three of them.
You know what I'm saying? So it transcended outside of the culture, not only on the floor, but off the floor. And I think that was the same thing with Iverson. But everything else with Chris's criteria, I really do agree with. Like, Karl Malone would have easily been in the conversation, and I know you just said this, Quet, for GOAT at his position if he won a championship.
Mm-hmm.
But because Tim Duncan not only dominated his position and has, 5 rings? 4 rings?
Yeah, 5 rings, yeah.
5 rings? He is the GOAT of his position. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the greatest power forward ever.
Yo, you know what? Hannibal makes a great point. Dennis Rodman is a superstar. Because if you're talking about, transcending like off the court, and he wrestled, was in movies, like you know who Dennis Rodman is. You know what I mean?
So he says that he fits the criteria. He fits some things on the criteria. He's still missing. I got everything. I got my whole layout in front of me. I think Dennis falls short is his personal stats. That's just a part of being a superstar. He was a great rebounder. That's undeniable. Yeah. But his personal stats is very, very low.
I don't know. Why is it?
Oh, I was ready for the beat to drop. I think he falls short in the stats department. And I think the personal accolades and accomplishments, I think he has some, but I do think they're low. So that's why I wouldn't put him at a superstar. But he falls in that gray area. I mean, he's got the championships in spades. He's got the influence in spades. I'll just run down my criteria, right?
Yeah.
Well, my superstar criteria off rip. So I got 6 criteria to be a superstar. And I'll start with what's going on, Raymond? I'll start at the top. No explanation for this. Championships. It's just a part of being a superstar for me. That's number one. This is not in any order of which is the most important. It's just championships. No explanation needed. You need that to be a superstar. My criteria. Second, accolades / accomplishments. You need that. Awards, records, all of that goes into there. Accolades and accomplishments. Number 3, stats. You need stats. I don't think I need to go too much into the stats. Next, influence. Moving other players or people to be like you, pushing topics and agenda. That all goes into influence. Trend setting, being transcended, all of that stuff that goes into influence. Now, something I was trying to explain that people don't know about is a Q rating. A lot of people don't know what a Q rating is. I'll explain it in the simplest way possible. A Q rating is a thing that they use in Hollywood for celebrities. They use it for NBA players too. You could look up some NBA players' Q rating. It basically shows their popularity, their social media presence, and their overall celebrity. That's a part of being a superstar. And then my last point of the criteria is moments. Memorable moments, game-winning shots, things in the NBA history that you remember that you can't tell the NBA story without. I'll take AI since he's on the topic for right now. 2 moments for AI. The first one I think about is him crossing up Jordan. The second one I think about is him stepping over Tyronn.
Yep.
Those are 2 very, very significant moments. So Hannibal, let Hannibal go. All right, go.
Hold on, wait. Also, you got the practice, not a game.
That's another moment. That's another moment too. All right, so Hannibal, you're laughing, and I'm Chris Bayless. What's wrong with my criteria? And explain it in detail.
Yeah, because I need to hear this.
Explain it in detail. Now, listen, you could not agree with the people that I put because of my criteria, but you tell me why my criteria is Skip Bayless worthy.
So
I would like to know that.
So while Hannibal does that, what I do want to get into, so I know Mark had asked us, so what's the next 10? Like we were talking about like the next 10 off the top 50, right? But so you have a next 10 of possible superstars?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I only got the superstars that I got, and it's 11, 11 superstars, not 10.
But also,
who are they?
But you know what, Chris? But also, and Ruck and I, we were talking when you had pause real quick. You could also include superstars that's not basketball too. Like I want to hear superstars from like.
Oh well, see that's a whole. I mean, yeah. I think my superstar criteria is for all sports, but we was just talking about basketball, so I just kind of focused on basketball. So no, Giannis is not a superstar. He don't got the championship. He don't got the influence. And he don't got the. But no. You keep dropping names. You tell me why. Tell me why my superstar criteria is Skip Bayless worthy.
Listen, the crazy thing is, right, and here's the thing that we get into, and it's a dangerous part of the conversation, is that a lot of times when people watch sports, they put, like, if somebody wins the MVP, right? If somebody was on a championship team, that may have been a little bit nice. Like, they put them in these higher categories than where they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Giannis won 2 back-to-back MVPs, and it was nice. He was dominant, right? But
second one was kind of like the second MVP was
like, but he hasn't gotten his team to that plateau. Has he gotten to the Eastern Conference Finals?
One time.
Once, right? So it's different. I think it's different classes, right? Like Chris is saying, Giannis is a star in the game today.
Oh, right? For sure. Yeah, for sure.
But I'll say this too, and Hannibal probably won't agree. Jimmy Butler is also a star too.
He is a star,
and I think he's right there on Giannis level. Right?
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think one of the other things that makes the criteria for superstar for me is, and I think it's one that we take out, is longevity. Mm-hmm. Right? These players that are superstars held that mantle for a long time. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like they wasn't just nice a couple years. Like Quet said, Wayne Gretzky. That's longevity over like 10, 11, maybe even longer years.
Mm-hmm.
That he was that good. Tom Brady, look, we're going into his
22nd year.
His 22nd year playing, right? Kobe played 20 years. KG played 20 years. Shaq played what, 16?
Something like
You know
that.
what I'm saying? So it's
18.
but then how like Hannibal says Jimmy Butler is not on Giannis level. Why not? They got to the same place. Actually, Jimmy got to the
Jimmy
finals.
got further.
Jimmy got to the
Hold on.
finals. So why is he not?
Jimmy got to the finals by beating Giannis,
Yeah.
destroying the Bucks, and ain't nobody gonna tell me coming into that year last year that the Miami Heat had a better team than the Bucks.
Mhm.
No,
But I think people get confused, which is why I don't understand why people can't accept the part where I go, listen, the person you're talking about is a superstar talent. I wouldn't take the talent part away from him. I'm never going to take Allen Iverson or Giannis or Carmelo Anthony or Karl Malone, all of those. I'm never going to take that they're a superstar talent away from them. But what makes you a superstar is past just talent. For me.
Yeah.
And I'm still waiting for Hannibal to explain what's wrong with my criteria that makes it Skip Bayless. He's not. I'm going to keep hammering that point home. You see, you can't just drop you Skip Bayless out here and not have something to to have some evidence with that.
There was another comment. I think my man Glenn had said something. He was like, yeah, he said, was Melo really a superstar, or did he just shoot a lot? Here's one of the things that I want to say to people though. But here's the thing, Chris, and I don't know if you agree with this. There are a lot of people in the NBA that shot a lot, right? Yeah, but there are not a lot of people in the NBA that may have been volume shooters, but were drop dead scorers.
Yeah.
Right? Melo, regardless of if you think so or not, the numbers do not lie. Go look at them numbers. And I guarantee you what you will find is if you're saying that he shot a lot, his percentages were really good from the field. From all areas. Free throw, 3-point, and from the field. So you can't discount that. I think when people think, just like when they call LeBron, like I think it was early, not last year, the year before, I think it was 2019, when they was talking about the Wash King and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yo, you calling this dude the Wash King, and he averaging over 20 a game.
For real. And
he washed? Like, all right. Like, okay.
Exactly. All right.
That's what you gonna ask for something, you gonna get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you can't listen, LeBron, I think, is one of them players. You could call him the Watch King because, I think he struggled for like a hot second, literally like a hot second. His superstardom is unquestioned. His legend, his legacy unquestioned. You're not going to beat that. You're not going to beat that.
And see, Raymond Bennett that's why you my dude, man. Always you come up with the.
There you go. Yeah.
Do you want to hop on? Hold on. I gotta send him an invite. Check your Facebook. I just want to spit Raymond Bennett.
He's 11th all time on the scoring list, right?
Yeah, and he will get in the top 10.
People sneeze at that, but people sneeze at that, right? You know how many players played in the NBA, and he's 11th on the scoring list. And then my thing is, over the past 4 years, he's been in so much of a reduced role from what he used to be, and he's still 11th. And this is the thing. Look at where he will finish his career at. He'll definitely be in the top 10.
Oh, 100%. He definitely will.
Definitely be in the top 10.
Definitely
will. And Melo, yes, people, Melo, the original one.
Yeah, the real Melo.
Yeah, that is funny when
Melo.
when you mention that. But so, Chris, do you have your list? Because I have one to.
Yeah, I do. I got my list. Okay. This is in no particular order.
Oh yeah. So go ahead. Again, I'm not a fast typer, but go ahead.
Okay.
I already said Michael Jordan. Okay. Magic.
Magic, Kobe, Shaq, Kareem, Wilt. The Laker party over now. LeBron, Curry, KD, Jordan, Bird, Dr. J.
His name Dr. J. Come on now. There we go.
Hey,
So now some of your favorite superstars is not in there. But again, like Raymond B. Bennett said, and like we were saying, like just because you're not a superstar doesn't mean that you're not a star. Like again, it doesn't diminish, your lane thing that you work for. It doesn't diminish that. It's just that certain people have certain criteria. Like, and also people have that star appeal. Like Shaq has a star appeal. Like AI, although he was great, you can't just put AI in a TV show. You can't put AI in certain commercials because the star appeal. Great player. But again, just not that superstar appeal. And that's no not. And I think, again, people get so caught up because their favorite player is not in that. And they look at it like, yo, AI, he was in these commercials. He was in, that's cool. People get mad when I say that Tim Duncan is not a superstar. He's a star. He's one of the greatest in his position. But he doesn't transcend off of the court. And that's fine. That is what he chooses. Like Kawhi Leonard is not a superstar. Like he doesn't transcend off the court. But guess what? He's still a great player. And he wants it that way, What's going on, Aaron? He wants it that way, and that's fine. Yeah. So I know Dark Mark, he had posted, and people were like, Tim Duncan was a superstar, and he had one pair of sneakers for Nikes. I'm like, okay, but who knew? If you don't know sneakers, you don't know that. You don't know that those are Tim Duncan sneakers. What he was the face of Adidas. I'm like, he was not. I mean, he was not the face of Tim Duncan. Chris, people was arguing with me too about Tim Duncan. And again, I said, I'm not saying he stank, but he wasn't a superstar. He didn't have that star appeal outside of the court.
Most people don't even know where Tim Duncan from.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, when I start talking about superstars, like, I'll take Magic and Kobe and Curry and Jordan and LeBron for instance. Man, their kids' names.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's such a deep investment in what you know about them. They, again, that falls into their Q rating and their influence. People know that much about them. Come on now.
Wait, hold up. Aaron just said, what?
No, one.
Listen, I'm ready. What up, OG? I'm ready for that debate all day. Yes, Tim Duncan was the greatest power forward of all time. I'm ready for that basketball debate.
Aaron, that's what I'm saying. He wasn't marketable, but he was a baller. Again,
but he was a baller. Yeah,
from him, he doesn't want to do the business side of things, and that's fine. Some people they took it and they like, yo, listen, this is who I am. Dennis Rodman, when he was in San Antonio, he still marketed himself, even though he was in a small market. But you knew who Dennis Rodman was. Again,
listen, the most. Yeah, I'm sorry, Quet. The most recognizable power forward ever to play the game is Charles Barkley.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah,
people always gonna recognize Barkley.
Always.
We gonna know his shoes and stuff too. You know what I'm saying?
Also with Barkley, his voice. If you want to close your eyes and say, "Oh, who is this?" You know that is Charles Barkley, Christopher Cream, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan.
Who he played for?
Exactly. You're gonna know, like Charles Barkley has that star appeal. And again, he came out of Phoenix, So
yo, shout out to Raymond though. Hold on, shout out to Raymond because he makes a good point.
Always shout out to him. Please,
makes a good point. And not just because it's kind of going with what I'm trying to tell people, but in his comment, he says that superstars have one name. They are bigger than the sport they play. The average person knows who they are.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's only one part of the criteria for me. But like, there's a lot of players, man. If I talk to a person who don't know basketball, man, they ain't never heard of no Tim Duncan, and I love Tim Duncan.
Yep, that's
big
true.
Big fundamental. Okay, Wake Forest home. Shout out to him. But like that's why Tim Duncan doesn't get into the superstar category for me. You know what I mean? He's a superstar talent, Hall of Famer, best power forward ever. We can have those conversations. That's real. But superstar, he's lacking. Too heavy in the influence part, in the Q rating part. People don't know who Tim Duncan, Adidas. Yeah. First of all, we had this conversation last year. Kobe couldn't save Adidas.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
And Adidas in that same era, just like the other thing too, which I think like Quet says, transcending the sport, but also like if we talk about marketability, right? Tim Duncan, Kobe couldn't say where Adidas was. He had to join the Nike family, right? If you had to say somebody that kept Adidas afloat, it was T-Mac. It wasn't nobody else. If it was T-Mac, and then for a lot of people that may not agree, after that, I think it was Gilbert Arenas that really held it. But like Grant Hill could have been a superstar or a star, if not for injuries, but he made Filas possible. You know, he was the one, he had the Sprite commercial. You know what I'm saying? So you knew who he was, but again, there are just other criteria that a lot of people don't make. And I think that's where you start getting into the conversation about other greats that people think are superstars, like a Chris Webber, like a T-Mac. I think that's when you start getting into the second level of the conversation, because they were really, really good.
Hold on. Let me just clear this up. Glenn said, how can we know his voice be a bigger criteria that defines superstar and not he won 5 rings like Barkley? No, we're talking about we were talking about great players at the position, not the superstar part. Not the superstar.
Yeah, because Charles Barkley ain't a superstar neither. I mean, now granted, in that part of the criteria, he's got it over Tim Duncan. But again, like I said, for me, just because somebody has a part of the criteria more than another person, you know what I mean? If you're still not a superstar, you're not a superstar. You see what I'm saying? Right. It's going across the screen is my list of superstars. And Juan, winning does count. That's why all my superstars got chips. That's why I argue with Hannibal when he goes, yo, Giannis. I think you could do it without a chip with Allen Iverson or Giannis. I understand that championships are a team sport, but particularly for basketball, it's the most best player most of the time can get his team to win, whether he has as much talent as the other team or not. I'm not saying it always happens. I'm not saying it always happens because it doesn't. But if you are the best player and you are who they say you are, they either get over the hump or get it done. Like one thing, and Dirk is not on my superstar list, but one thing I really love about Dirk, the deck was stacked against Dirk. Okay, you can make an argument that he had squandered his best chance when they had lost to Miami back in 2006. He got his team back there in that gauntlet of a West, and they had to go against that juggernaut down 2-1. You can make an argument he was the only star on that team. Right. Going against 3 solidified stars.
And you can make the argument that in that series, he was the biggest star on the floor.
On the floor, he definitely was the biggest star. So it was like, for him to overcome something like that, I can't make no excuses for other crazy. I can't.
TC, you know what? TC want to talk. TC, listen. You ain't gonna come here and tell 3 black men what to do now. All right, goddamn it. We ain't ready to talk free agency yet. All right, we're talking a little bit. You know, TC, I got by TC.
But TC, I do want to get into free agency talk. But yes,
we are,
when we ready, because we're still in this.
Because Juan brings up a great point. Does winning count, right? And for me, I think it's 2 different. For me, in basketball, there's 2 different types of winning. There's winning that looks good in the regular season. And there's winning when it's winning time.
Yes.
Right? So we've seen winning during the regular season look really good.
Peyton Manning.
But
the shots, the personal shots, the personal shot. Who's your player that I left off? Why are you coming at me like this?
No, I'm just saying because
at me like
because listen, it was just off the top of the head.
Does Peyton have a ring?
Yes, he does.
Does Peyton have multiple rings?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I can say yes.
Yeah. So
keep my forehead out your mouth.
So I say this, right? That's the other thing that I think goes into that criteria when you getting into those superstars. Like they won. And to Chris's other point, a lot of those superstars that he had, their moments were in real winning time.
Yes.
Yes.
They were in Magic Johnson. Just go off the list. Everybody remembers in Boston Garden the hook shot to win, right? Kareem, a hook shot to win. They remember Curry going crazy in the finals to win. Kobe, you got the series against Boston. You got to win. You know what I'm saying?
To
Bron,
win, yeah,
down 3-1.
3-2. Yeah, well,
You know,
3-1.
You know that it makes me think because you know, Curry doesn't have a Finals MVP. The way that the Iggy one went down, I don't know if a lot of people know that story, how it went down. Just a quick background. You know the story?
No, go ahead.
What happened? So what happened with the first finals that the Warriors won? So all of the writers that were there got a vote for the final MVP. It came back. It was something like 8 votes for LeBron, who was going to be the first person to win a Finals MVP in a losing effort. And then it was 5-4 for 5 for Curry, 4 for Iguodala. And those writers got together and just wound up picking Iggy. They all just changed their votes to give it to Iggy because it was a lot of reasonings that they had in there. A lot of people have come out and be like, they kind of felt like they probably made a bad choice, which they did, because I like Iggy, but I ain't giving nobody an MVP to holding somebody who potentially was going to win the MVP on the losing team on route of averaging 30 and 10.
Triple-double.
30, 10, and 11 the whole series. But, you know, you held them down. He had some good key moments, but when I think of that finals, I think about Curry struggling in the beginning and then cooking Dellavedova towards the end. That's what I think about. So he gets a bad rap for that because he don't have his final MVP.
Let me read this here because again we got people who are listening and they can't see these messages. So Aaron said, folks misconstrue the face of the team as being a superstar. So when you see a pregame for the Kings, they show Fox. We all know he isn't a superstar. He said each team features one player, of course. Most of the time, it's the bona fide superstar, but it's also who the teams decide. That is true. Let me go back to some of these. TC said he's patiently waiting for the free agency. Don't worry, TC, we got you. Uncle Juan said that's true, Ruck. The regular season looks like a joke right now. Yup, true. You don't know who is playing from game to game, and that's true. And then Aaron made a good point, which he don't make a lot of. He said, young fellas, I remember Magic winning it for the Lakers his rookie year. Finally got something right. And he also said, how the hell are you the MVP, but your team lost? Yeah.
Well, listen, the thing was in that series, and people tend to forget because people always forget the losing team. And I make that point out a lot. That's why I say, just win. History will kind of forget all of the conflict in your winning, and they'll forget the team you win against. They'll just remember that you won. But that LeBron,
go ahead.
Yeah, but that series, you gotta remember, LeBron was on both teams, was the leading scorer, leading rebounder, and the leading in assists.
Yeah.
LeBron was, listen, I'm not saying he should have got it. He would have been the first player to get it since Jerry West for a losing team. But he was so dominant in that series, because if you remember, Kevin Love got hurt against Boston Celtics in the first round in the Eastern Conference. And then the first game that they played the Warriors, Kyrie tore up his knee or cracked his kneecap or something like that. So it was really just all on him after that. And he stepped up.
And he went Super Saiyan.
He went Super Saiyan. Now, it still wasn't enough. And I'm not saying that he deserved it. Aaron, I'm not saying that he deserved it. I'm saying that's a part of the story of why Curry didn't get Finals MVP. Because you had some writers who weren't budging off of LeBron. They weren't budging. And the other writers got together and was like, you know what? Let's just pick a guy. Because we got the 9. Let's just pick a guy to get the MVP over him so we don't give it to the losing player. That's what happened. People like Skip Bayless, since Hannibal won't bring it up. Skip Bayless loves to bring up the point that Iggy won it over him, but it was a lot more political than anything at that current moment when they were picking.
We know, we know how that goes. We know how that goes. But so this is our criteria. We are going to move on from it. Of course, I'm going to clickbait and put that up there. But
right, he's gonna get me saying like screaming, saying somebody. Oh no, he's gonna take the part where I said, "Who said Shaq wasn't a superstar?" He's just gonna leave it at that and be, "Yo, Chris said Shaq wasn't a superstar." He's gonna
what I did
online like
Chris
a straight
Shaq superstar. Yep, I'm gonna use that here. Thank you, Chris.
He probably posting that right now too.
Yeah. When I had to call him.
You know how Quet do.
I said, "Yo, what you doing to my name up here?" "Yo, man, I'm sorry. I'm tired of being nice out here in these streets."
Yeah.
He got real gully. Like, man, I'm tired of being nice out here in these streets, man. Clickbait all day.
Yo, because whenever we try the nice way, like, hey, come watch the show, people are like, whatever. But as soon as we say something crazy, people want to go through. Yeah, and when you guys were 59 minutes and 62 seconds in, I just want to say Chris was wrong. I'm like, okay, so you did listen. You know what I mean? So that's why I do. Plus, it's all
CC out throwing Tom Gully shade out here.
You ain't get me into this. You ain't get me into this. That's all Quet. You ain't get me into this.
Yeah. Hey, Flim, we can have that conversation, big bro. We can do that because I'm with that all day.
Yeah,
I would love to debate you on that.
Yeah, I can definitely talk about that. He said,
"Let's go NFL."
The best power forward. So, free agency. TC, you want it? We're gonna give it to you. What do you guys think about the NFL free agency, man? Is Deshaun get rid of him?
This salary cap number got everybody going crazy.
And you know what? Let me just say this on the record. Let me just say this, and I do want to defend Aaron on this one. I don't like defending Aaron, but I like to call it spade a spade. Aaron does not think Dak should have got what he got. Okay, Aaron's been saying that for years. Aaron been getting jumped by Cowboys fans for years, but he been swinging and holding his own. He like, yo, listen, I don't think he took us to the promised land yet. And, he got some criteria that he has been stating. Some of it, I have to agree with him on, because he said, yo, we hold people to the same standards, but because Dak played for the Cowboys, it's like we try to negate that. Again, I'm just, freelancing here. But in so many words, Aaron has been saying that for a while. Now, when something happened to him, Aaron going to be the first one to say, I told y'all. So, but yeah.
So in the famous word of AI, when you talk about the Cowboys option, Nick, where were your other options at? Where?
Again.
And where was another option that in this current free agency market, in the restructuring market that we're in, where was the right place for you to go? And what makes it bad for Cowboys fans that they feel like this? Because Jerry should have gave him that money instead of just right now, and it wouldn't feel as bad.
If they would have gave him that money before, they would have actually saved money back then than now. But
yes.
What's going to happen, because once we saw Pat get paid, we were like, okay.
Listen, but again, like I started with where everybody is with the cap, don't worry about it, because at this point, teams are having meetings with people like, listen, we don't want to let you go, so you could do one or two things. You could restructure, or you could test the market. And the crazy thing is, a lot of people, I don't know if y'all have noticed, but a lot of people have been restructuring that money because there have been the cap hits and the cap losses have been so big to teams. Like, think about it. We just saw Kansas City, two back-to-back Super Bowl participants, cut both of their starting tackles. One a first-round draft pick, and the other one damn near a star in the league, and cut both of them because the number was too high.
They about to get hit now. They about to get so it's so funny because in free agency, what happens is a lot of these players they kind of duke a lot of these teams, and they get this money, and then what end up happening is you don't see the championship run continue because you know why? Because they don't have the cap space. One thing that the Patriots didn't have to worry about was cap space. Tom Brady always
wasn't playing nobody.
Exactly, but you know what? But they won. Tom Brady always restructured so he can keep players. Now, I think that now I'm jumping, basketball real quick. I think people got mad at Melo when he was in New York because he didn't restructure to get more players so that they can win. But again, this is a sport when we talk about football where the average life is what, 3, maybe 5 years. So you got to get what you can get now. Yes, you want to win, but the teams that usually win, as we're seeing in this day and age, those teams usually don't continue to win because players start wanting more money. The Patriots has a date for the past 20 years. They have a set scheme in which they've been able to produce and say, hey, listen, this is our way. We win, whether you like it or not. If you want the money, then go somewhere else. But other teams, they don't have the caveat to say that. I.e., look at Green Bay. Green Bay, like, yo, we winning, but we come on here, like, but because Aaron Rodgers is so good, it's like, yo, we don't need them. We don't need them because you're here. That's what we're talking about.
He needs to mess around and restructure his contract too, like for real. But I think the Patriots had set the mark for everybody in this because what they have done for years is now what the league is starting to do. Because one of the things that the Patriots never did was they never did the extravagant signing bonus. Because that's where a lot of people got a lot of their money up front. They always made them defer it in a sense to, it's almost like they set it up as like, we'll give you more in the back end if you don't take this much for a signing bonus. But now what you see people doing is now they're converting those signing bonuses into, they're taking the signing bonus off the table and pushing it into their contract.
Yes, incentive based. It's more incentive based. So it's like if you have more touchdowns, then you're going to get this. If you make this, then you'll get this. So a lot of teams are saying, okay, well, you know what, we'll give you that guaranteed 20 million, which they should get more, but it looks like you're getting 40, but this is what you have to do to get that 40.
Yeah.
So it's heavily incentive based. And some players, they're banking. Teams are really, even though they want these players and they want to win, they're banking on, especially owners who don't give a damn. They're banking that these players don't make those incentives so they don't have to pay them. They want to win, but they're hoping that you don't throw for 40 touchdowns. So that way they don't got to pay you. Like they want you to win, but they're hoping that you don't make the Pro Bowl or the All Pro team. So that way they don't have to pay you. And that's how it works. That's how it works. Now talking about free agency, what free agent pickups did you guys like, or what's going on? I know the whole Russell Wilson one's kind of got me. I don't know what to kind of think of that one. But just you guys, take on just the whole free agency at this point. I'm gonna start with Chris because he's been silent.
Free agency move. Honestly, no free agency move as of yet. I mean, most of the moves that have been exciting have been trades. Honestly, I mean, listen, there's a market out there. Listen to the Matt Stafford trade. Obviously him and the Jared Goff switch. Things of that nature. Those have been the most exciting. I don't think there's been a free agent pickup yet that I'm like, that's.
How about an extension? I'm just saying free agency in general, like, because I know TC wanted to talk about Cam. That's what he really wanted to say.
Well, listen, I think Cam. Well, listen, it's something that we talked about on the show. I told everybody that Cam was what happened with New England and Cam wasn't as how people were reporting it, or like how pundits were reporting on TV. The Patriots didn't see it like that. The Patriots saw it like this. And listen, I'm not Bill Belichick, so I'm not trying to speak for him, but I feel that the Patriots seen it like this. Cam came out hot. First game they won against Miami, put up a classic against Seattle. Then Cam got sick.
Yep.
Cam got sick, and he wasn't good for a while. Like, physically wasn't good. and he was playing catch up the whole season. That's coming into a season where he didn't get OTAs, where he didn't get the practice, didn't get any mini camps, none of that stuff. But he still has some success in the season after battling back from COVID. Listen, the Patriots lost some bad games. Like the Niner game was bad. The Ram game was bad. The last Bills game was bad as well.
Yep.
But they had a chance to win against the Bills the first time.
Yep.
Cam just, he fumbled when they were going in, driving the score.
Going in the score.
Yeah. And then they were in every game.
Yep.
Like they see a path with Cam. Not only to mention, to TC's point, there wasn't no weapons out there. Like they were asking Cam to do this. Mind you, Edelman got hurt like week 5. Week 5, week 6 was gone
and
for the rest of the year.
And we really didn't see him early.
And he was spotty early as far as like he'll miss a game, be here, such and such. So it's like there's some talent that they need to bring to the offensive side of the ball that would make them better. On top of, they're going to be getting a lot of players on the defensive end that opted out because of COVID.
And their starting all-pro left tackle comes back.
Right, and people tend to forget, the Patriots had the most players opt out for COVID last year. The most. I think
see why. I mean, with your quarterback getting COVID, I mean, you just like, yo, listen, let's just chill out.
This was even before Cam got COVID, though. Players opt out. So, there's going to be, I think New England will be competitive with Cam next year. I mean, with all of that being said, they were 7-9 team this year. 7-9 for Cam had his highest completing percentage. He had the most rushing. He had the most rushing touchdowns as a quarterback last season. They have a formula. All right, they have a formula, and if you add some talent, Cam has always been a good deep ball thrower. You see, you even seen it in the games where they had to pass to get it back into the game, and then they just had to go deep. Cam made plays. He made plays. So is Cam the MVP Cam anymore? I don't think so. Is he still a viable quarterback in the NFL? Yes.
Yes.
With another year under Bill, obviously Bill Belichick likes him. Obviously.
That's the one thing
people
that
need
people
to think about that as
don't
well.
talk about. That's the one thing that people don't talk about. And he gets such a bad rap. He's gotten it during the season and during this offseason. But I think one of the biggest things that made it easy for the Patriots to bring him back was the same thing that people saw in Carolina. He is a hard worker. He is a team guy. He has never been in any trouble. So he's going to be everything that you need from a leadership standpoint. Physically, the other thing too is physically coming off the injuries that he had a shoulder injury and a foot injury. It's going to take some time. So I think they made the best choice. I don't think Jimmy G coming back would have been the savior that people were trying to make it. But I think Cam was a good choice.
So that's the thing, though, right? Jimmy G coming back to what? It's also why the other quarterbacks weren't very successful. It's because, sure, if you had some talent on the outside, some tight ends, some wide receivers, sure, you could put a better quarterback in New England, but you do not have that. You got Cam. That's what you got. You got Cam in a running game. Use it to your advantage.
Now, but spend the money like they think they can and get some of the weapons, because for every bit of what Dan Campbell was saying in his press conference, what it looks like now is Detroit is having a complete fire set. They done told Kenny Galladay, they told one of their great, slot corners, Houston, they said, listen, y'all could go. So Galladay, Marvin Jones, all them are on the market.
I was about to say, the Patriots need to go after Kenny Galladay.
Absolutely.
They need to go after him. There's some players out there that will be available to go after, that the Patriots need to go after if they want to fix their skill player positions. Okay. Isn't Hunter Henry just got released, didn't he?
Yep. He's open too. So you're talking about a tight end.
You could bring in. So, he's gonna have to Bill's gonna have to spend some money, which he doesn't like. Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz. Philly about to let go of Zach Ertz. You talking about a weapon as a tight end? It's listen. You could do a lot. There are going to be players that are out there. I mean, and again, it's because some of these other places have dedicated so much money. Like, look at Tennessee. Like TC just put up there, Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith is probably going to be a cap casualty. Corey Davis might be one. It's a lot of people out there that are good players, still young in their career, that could help.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
it's
listen,
crazy.
it's moves out there to be made. Whether they make them or not, is yet to be seen. But again, I think Cam going is, I think Cam resigning is good for Cam, and I think it's good for the Patriots short term. Because maybe you do draft a quarterback in the draft, and you go, listen, now we got a starter, and we don't got to put so much pressure on our rookie quarterback because I know Bill is not trying to lose.
Yeah. And look, the quarterbacks that are coming out in the draft are still going to be around for the Patriots. Like, the Patriots can still go with their plan of looking at Mac Jones from Alabama. They could also, depending on what people are saying, and again, I think he's getting the short end of the stick, but like Trey Lance could be another one that the Patriots pick up too, because people are saying, oh, well, he hasn't played enough and this and that.
I'll take him.
Yeah, but the crazy thing is Trey Lance got as many starts at North Dakota as Mac Jones did at Alabama.
But they're going to talk about the D2 thing and D1. But I do want to say
overthinking it. They're overthinking it.
As
Trevor
always.
Lawrence, Justin Fields, go from there. They're overthinking it.
Yeah.
And they're going to, Mel Kiper and Todd McShay, their only concern is trying to be the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah.
That's their only concern. They're trying to act like they see stuff that nobody else sees. They are wrong the vast majority of the time. Todd McShay and Mel Kiper are wrong.
Yes. Well, let me get to some of these comments real quick. TC said 3.5 million is guaranteed money, 5 million if he's on a roster all year, it's backup money. And he said Jimmy G is still plan A. You can have him. Anthony said, what's good? AKA Goldmouth Pool. He said, what's up? Great talk, fellas, as always. Glenn and I, we 49er fans, so we share the same sentiments. He said, if skill position players are healthy, it helps Jimmy G to be accurate enough. Any injury problems like last year, and Jimmy G ain't that dude, which we know. And we talked about that. I got to agree with him. He said Mac Jones is going to be garbage. He's a product of the players around him. Alabama quarterbacks usually not that good. Again, they usually have great talent around them, and you don't really see, anything that they do outside of college because, again, now you got to read. It's not as easy as you think it is. But
this is what I say about Mac Jones. You're right to a degree, but I think Mac Jones can't be your savior. He ain't no Joe Burrow. You know what I mean? He ain't no Andrew Luck or somebody like that that's just gonna come in. They want to be looking good. But if you could put him, if he falls later in the draft and he gets put on a team that's already good, with already good players, then he could be okay. Still won't be great, but he could be okay.
Hey, I give you this one for free, TC. You ain't even got to pay me for it. Tell Bill in free agency to make a splash move, right? 3 players that he can get on offense that won't fix their problems, but it's going to make it a lot easier for Cam. Go ahead and pick up Hunter Henry, right? Take a swing at Kenny Galladay and make your backup plan T.Y. Hilton.
I don't know if T.Y. Hilton going.
And see where it puts your offense.
It'll be better. It'll be better for sure.
Much better.
TC said Mac Jones got a body like Chris.
Man, he wish.
Yeah.
He wish.
So
I'll truck his ass right now.
I do want to know real quick. How about Stephon Gilmore? What do the Patriots do with him? Because I know that there's been
They're gonna let him go. They're gonna let him go.
Let him go.
They're gonna let him go.
Where does he go?
Somewhere, not there.
Wherever he wants to. I tell you one team that I think if they let him go would be a great opportunity to get him and make it stick. He could end up in Arizona, and he makes that defense. You talking about Pat Pete, him,
I sure hope not.
Buda Baker and JJ and Chris Jones.
I want our Niners to get him because we need it. Lord knows we need some corners.
What y'all gonna do with Richard Seymour?
Richard Seymour is going to be a cap casualty.
They gonna move him to safety or what?
No.
Richard
is out of
he
there.
don't want to be here. Yeah, he's gone. He's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah, so
Listen, anybody want Aaron Jones? Because he going too. And we're gonna lose Jamal too. That's it. We lost everybody in our backfield.
Here's the thing with Green Bay. Another team that it's simple. It was simple laid out. Dalvin Cook was right there for them.
You would never let that go.
Right there. I won't let it go. You know why? Because Green Bay.
Let's not forget McCaffrey either.
Let me the thing with Green Bay that just eats at me is how can you be so well run, but then also at the same time be poorly run? It's a conflict. I don't understand it. It's like it's got to be a Green Bay guy. Yes,
it's an oxymoron.
It's 100%. It's got to be a Green Bay guy. We only want to draft people and have them come in, so they don't really go after free agents. But then when the guy is available to get drafted, they don't go after people like Jordan Love. Makes no sense.
But here's the thing about that, right? That makes that whole point even more silly, right? Jones and Williams were two backs that we drafted in the same draft. And they still didn't take care of their money.
I don't get them. You know what? I got a healthy fear that when Aaron Rodgers goes, Green Bay is going to be bad for a long time. I'm telling you, man, it's something don't sit right with me in that organization.
But you got to remember, But you got to remember, for Green Bay, they have not been bad for a long time. They have. I mean, it's been over 20 years, so they're looking at it like, "Yo, listen, we got Brett."
20 years.
I mean,
dude, that's been like 30 years.
Okay. Again, I'm talking. Yeah, I mean, over 20. They have
been consistently good.
That's what I'm saying.
They transitioned from the Brett Favre era right into the Aaron Rodgers era. Aaron Rodgers is what, 12, 13 in? What is he? Something around there?
13.
2004 he came in. So yeah. So
Brett gave you what? 15, 16?
Wait, hold on. Wait. Aaron Rodgers came in 2004. So he's like what? 17. He gonna be in 17.
He's gonna be in year 17. Now that's coming off of 16, 17 with Brett. They've been successful. Yes, I'm telling you, after this Aaron Rodgers era end, I don't It's going to be bad.
And here's the thing that people glance over because we have been consistent, right? The only big free agent move that was made during that almost 40-year time period has been Reggie White.
Damn.
I mean,
you got Peppers too at one point.
But again, and that was great. Julius Peppers was great. Charles Woodson was great. But you talking about Reggie White to Juju and Charles. And the thing was that we almost didn't get Charles.
Yeah.
He almost was going to Tampa Bay.
So I just want to read some of these comments. Shout out to Ant. He said he's a Falcons fan. He said we need Gilmore and a running back like Aaron Jones because Gurley, shaking my head. Well, he tried. Then he also said, man, Aaron Rodgers is Brett Favre with a Gucci belt on. Said we got to stop making excuses for that dude. 1-4 in conference championship game.
You're right.
And then TC said, I could see Green Bay signing James White and Marlon Mack. So yeah,
I would love it. I love Marlon Mack. Pause. But
Raymond Bennett said Rodgers has been the great deodorant.
He has, and I think
that's a great analogy.
And you know what?
Bennett been winning all day. I mean, all the time.
And you know about to suffer that. You know about to suffer that. Deodorant about to be gone. Seattle. Seattle's about to suffer that because Pete Carroll's pride is going to get in his way. And he's thinking he's the smartest guy in the room. You're not. You have Russell Wilson. Have Russell Wilson happy. The Chicago Bears are going to end up with Russell Wilson.
Yo, did you see? Listen, they moved over $23 million in cap space yesterday. They're in the market not only to get him. And here's the thing, like Chris just said, over the last 3-4 years, right? Maybe even a little bit longer, Pete Carroll has slipped back to his New England Pete Carroll days.
I hope so. He's such an asshole.
He's making some of those same mistakes. And we can take this back to the Super Bowl when he had Russ throw it instead of handing it off.
Good. I hope so.
I'm telling you, if Russell Wilson, first of all, it'll be good on Chicago because they haven't had a good quarterback in my lifetime.
And that will be
my lifetime.
And that will be the best thing Chicago has did. I don't know, maybe ever, because they've been shit in the bed.
But from what I'm hearing, the Chicago Bears are going to give a king's ransom for Russell Wilson. They said they're gonna put together a package that's so good that Seattle won't be able to. They're not going to be able to not take it. It's gonna be like we have to take it
because Pete Carroll's going to say we don't need him, so let him go.
Well, and that's the thing. Pete Carroll is on that. Well, listen, it's my way or the highway. If you think about it, Richard Sherman had problems with him, you could go. Earl Thomas had problems with him, you could go. So he has that in him. And for Russ, who is Mr. Seattle, always says the right thing. He didn't even really criticize. He just said, going into the next season, I would like not to get sacked as much. And, maybe we could, open up the playbook a little bit. And that's what you get offended by, Pete Carroll. That's what, then we don't need him. He needs to take him and his beautiful wife out of that situation. Don't nobody want to live in Seattle anyway. Go down to Chicago, become a legend down there. He would be. They already re-signed, or I think they gave the tag to Allen Robinson. So I know we got a receiver down there.
They got the tag,
and they got some nice little quick running backs that can do some things. You got an offensive-minded head coach that has been limited in the things he can do with Mitch Trubisky.
Yep, and Nick Foles. Yep,
and Nick Foles. He'll be able to really open up the thing because they've been good offensively in spite of Nick Foles and Mitch Trubisky. He's a very, very talented offensive coordinator that is a head coach, Nagy. So I think Russell Wilson going there will open some things up. You can't be trotting out Mitch Trubisky and Nick Foles against Aaron Rodgers 2 times a year. You can't do it.
And listen, the other thing that people discount about Chicago, their defense is top 10. Since Khalil Mack has been there, the defense is top 10. You're talking about Mack, you're talking about Fuller, you're talking about Akeem Hicks. They have what you need, and Russ would be the piece. So, I mean, Chicago's playing with house money. They haven't had something like that. So for them to give up the next 3 years of first rounders don't mean nothing to them.
I heard the next 5.
Chicago,
it still don't mean nothing to them.
Chicago never
peace.
Chicago never had a great quarterback. I don't think I can remember the last time they had a great quarter. I don't think even when they were the Chicago. Who the hell is that?
Sid Luckman. He had the NFL.
Listen,
for most
Chicago hasn't had a good quarterback or a quarterback that was noticed in the league since McMahon.
But again, McMahon was
85 Bears. That's been their most noticeable and serviceable quarterback. They haven't had one.
That's true. Well, let me get to some of these comments real bit, because again, Raymond Bennett, he's over here. He's over here spitting facts, man. He said Pete is like, we'll just make another J. If you guys don't know, that's a whole line. Jay-Z said, okay, so make another hope. And then he said, ask Dame how that turned out. Again, that's a little rap reference. Ant said, now we see Sherman, Thomas, and Bennett wasn't lying about Carroll, and I thought they were just mad about the Super Bowl thing. No, this goes all the way back to USC days. The way he did his players at USC and threw them under the bus, people Lindell White, Reggie Bush, you know what I mean? Also Brian Cushing. There's a lot of stuff.
Everybody but Matt Leinart.
Also, let's think about Mays. You know, the safety who was on his way to being a superstar. You know, so he don't care. He also said, Ant said, that was stuck for Metcalf because him and Russ had a good connection. You're right, but again, Pete Carroll's at the age where he's like, yo, I can do what I want to do, and again, he has been successful.
Hey, for DK, I wouldn't even worry about it. You still under that rookie contract, so going into next summer, you good.
Yeah, you know what? I would love to see Russ go to Chicago because he can get out of our freaking division, so I can actually root for the guy, but also him make his own, bones to say, hey, I'm going to show you, Pete. And anytime anybody is against Pete Carroll and it puts cream on Pete Carroll's face, I am so for it. So if they can play Pete Carroll and beat him by 60, I'm rooting for the Bears. I can't stand Pete Carroll. And then he goes to a team in my division. Forget Pete Carroll. I'm sorry, Ruck. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, man. So me going left again, but kind of some breaking news for me. So I just happened to be scrolling yesterday, and did y'all know Odell Beckham had a girlfriend?
Yeah, I know. I follow her.
Well, I'm mad at you because you didn't share that. But I was like, and I don't really want to talk too greasy about Odell because he may come to us. So Odell, come get some cheese. But I was like, oh, he got a girl. Oh, okay, Odell. All right.
But you thought it was something else? Okay. I'm not even gonna touch that. I'm not even gonna touch that.
You ain't think it was something?
Nah.
All right. So next comment. So anyway.
I mean, well, listen. I think that we're going to see in the coming weeks, what these players do. March Madness is upon us. I want to talk about that next week. Chris, you see how they trying to get Duke in there? They trying to get Duke up in there, man.
Oh, they gonna get him in.
I don't need Duke in. Listen, y'all know how I bleed blue, but this ain't our year, man. Next year.
They've been living up to the real name Dookie now, huh, Chris?
They've been playing like Dookie all year. And I was sad, and obviously when we caught the COVID and we couldn't participate after we had already run 2 games in the ACC tournament. Nah, we was fighting for our life in there.
Yeah,
we want to play.
Nah, they ain't want Florida to embarrass them. That's what it was.
At the same time, fam, it wasn't our year, yo. It wasn't our year. And here's the thing: I ain't trying to be no bottom feeder just so we can extend our record from consecutive tournament appearances. I ain't trying to be no 14, 15 seed, no playing game to prove. I'm a blue blood. All right, I was born for this. Okay,
whatever.
Going to the NCAA tournament is my birthright. So
UConn, baby, UConn.
Now let me tell you about UConn. Fuck UConn. UConn women. That girl Paige Beckers.
Oh yeah.
Yo, but you know what the crazy thing is, and I will talk about UConn women since I got this on today, bruh. If people are worried about them this year, next year when they get AZ,
because her and Paige is like tight, played at the same high school. That's the sauce on that.
Hold on, so they played the same high school, so they was being teams by 100 then. It was
Paige and her put on shows, man, and that's the thing. Paige been scoring at UConn. She ain't even a scorer. She can score. She a dimer.
Wait till you see it next year because Azzy Fudd is an absolute bucket. You heard?
Girl,
I see her.
Old girl from South Carolina, Zia.
Yeah.
She is a problem.
Yeah. So AZ is a bucket. She's a hooper.
Yeah, Zia's a hooper.
Yeah,
you know what? See, but here's the thing: when you talk about women's sports, I don't think people. Well, we talk about it because we watch it, but but the media don't talk about it enough because when you think about some of those great coaches that the women basketball, college basketball have, and just to think like Dawn Staley, you know what I mean? Like if this was the men's side. And Dawn, let's just say, was Drew or something, and the thing that she's doing, a former player, winning time, it would be all over the place. Gina Oriema, it would be Like their names come because of people who are purely sports people. Throw them in there, but it would be no question. Pat Summer, it would be no question.
Yo, and the other thing I want to say real quick with that too, just former players, right? Yo, shout out to Patrick Ewing and the Georgetown Hoyas for winning the Big East championship, right? The first player to win it as a coach now, right? But one of the things that kind of rubbed me the wrong way yesterday, I was on IG again, and one of the first congratulatory posts I saw was from Mark Jackson, and he had put up a picture of him, Patrick Ewing, and Rick Pitino, their rookie years when they were in New York, and he was saying, "Congratulations for Rick Pitino getting Iona into the dance. Congratulations for Pat winning the Big East." Right. And the thing that rubbed me wrong about the picture was,
Ruck, he ain't gonna get in. Ruck, he ain't getting.
But son, we giving somebody like Pitino another chance.
Of course, man. Come on, you know why.
Pat hasn't gotten the opportunity at the NBA level, and Mark can't get another one.
Mark's problem isn't like a substance or like personal problems outside of basketball. Mark's problem is owners don't like him. They don't like him. They don't like his approach. They know it could get their team winning, but Mark is a real by the book. No, you're a suit, an executive. I don't need you in my practice. I don't need you down here. So he hard nosed like that, and that don't offend players. That don't offend us. But owners, man, it's their team, so they like they're not feeling that. But I'm not saying it's right. But they're not feeling it.
That too, but also when you talk about Mark Jackson being a staunch Christian and his views on homosexuality, you know what I mean? Because if we hire Mark Jackson and he say something off the cuff, we got sponsorships, we got to look at players.
Mark ain't gonna say nothing off the cuff. You don't got to worry about him saying nothing off the cuff. It's just that.
But
listen, his views on it are his views, and he's not gonna bring it up. You know what I mean?
Oh, he won't bring it up, but people will bring it up for him.
Other people
they will attack and say, "Well, you have a guy who doesn't like homosexuality." He'll be like, "I never said that," but and then it will be that whole dynamic. Yeah. See, but the problem is the teams that Mark Jackson could go to, these coaches are going to stay. Like San Antonio, like Pop can say what he wants because again, like that, the owner like, "Yo, do what you need to do." Right, you're Pop and do what you need to do. Some of the teams that he should be at. And just the coaches are there.
But I just think my point about it was it's just the opportunities, man. And I think it's just a travesty that you can't see that. I think even for Georgetown taking so long after John Thompson II stepped down to even make Pat the coach.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like for it to be a situation yesterday, and especially we're back in the Big East play, and St. John's hasn't even thought about calling Mark.
They gave Mully a shot.
You gave Mully a shot, and listen, no knock on Mully because he did a great job with what he had those couple of years. But that's what I don't understand because everywhere
does he want those? You know what I mean? Because you gotta remember, and again, I'm playing devil advocate here.
Mm-hmm.
I remember. Behind the scenes, they probably all talk like, "Hey, Mark, my boy up there, he said that he might could use you. Now I'm good." Maybe he just feel like him being an announcer is better because he don't have to worry about the rigmarole.
That's not true. That's not true. I tell you why that's not true.
I'm just saying.
The reason I tell you why it's not true is because he's been asked about coaching again, and he basically
basketball, coaching NBA, or coaching basketball.
Coaching basketball.
Period. Okay.
And he basically said, "Listen, that he would love to coach again, but he doesn't need to coach again."
Yeah. Shout out to Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson because I think they asked him directly about that on All the Smoke. That's what
he was talking about.
And my thing is here's another thing, right? It has to be an option, especially for him, just targeting him, right? When Jeff Van Gundy is saying on air,
yeah, that's his boy,
that listen, this should be happening. And again, you're watching other coaches get opportunities, and you're like, how?
It's going to be really hard for me to watch another Mike D'Antoni coach team because you know it's coming. You know it's coming. Like that pisses me off. Like again, you know, there are some guys who we think are not qualified. Whatever, you got to start somewhere. But then there are guys who you know shouldn't be coaching at all at the head coaching level, but they continue to get these positions. Like Mike D'Antoni, like I can't stand to watch him because you know why? During the regular season, he looks great. Postseason, it's like, yo, I don't know how to coach. But again, he continues to get into these situations. And being that he's on the Nets, one of the best teams in the NBA, he's going to get the opportunity. And that's and that part sucks.
So I just wanted to say that real quick because again, I'm glad it was such a great thing for Pat to win, and especially to win it in New York, in his building, and especially after the shenanigans that was going on the day before.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know, which I think again is just another like that's why the Knicks won't win, man.
Nah.
They don't do nobody right. Like that's why they won't win.
They gotta make it right with Oak.
Right.
Gotta make it right with Oak.
Gotta make it right with Oak. You know what I'm saying?
But
real quick in March Madness, just one of the things that I've been watching too that I think is like it again with the NCAA tournament, it's always whatever team is hot. It's always going to be somebody that comes out of nowhere and it's going to put on the show. But I tell you one thing, and this is I've never really been a big person on them, but Carolina looks real hard to beat, man. Top to bottom, they got a lot of skilled players that
Carolina who? North Carolina?
Tar Heels.
All right.
I know you ain't saying that because you know what they did in Dukies.
Listen, I know what Duke is.
Carolina and Illinois.
I know what Duke is this year. I also saw what Florida State just did to North Carolina. I'm good. I'll be all right. They be
all right. And look,
I like
Georgia Tech turn around to beat Florida State.
I know. I like Georgia Tech. I like I love Oklahoma State. Cade Cunningham.
Number 1 pick.
Cade Cunningham, that man
Number
is
1
real.
pick.
Yo, listen, this is only basketball related. I like Michigan. I think they got a good squad. They got a real good squad.
They lost
especially when Juwan Howard's about to go to blows with the coach.
Yo,
in Maryland.
I gotta see it.
Yo,
okay.
You know how disrespectful you got to be to get Juwan Howard out of pocket?
Right.
Yo, did you see him in the press conference? Juwan said, so listen, where I grew up at, Chicago raised me. South Side.
You already know what that means.
I think he did one of these too.
You know what that means.
Yo, fam, you gotta say something wild to get Juwan Howard acting like that. So, but I do like Michigan. I think Ohio State. Iowa, Michigan State, Illinois. They're Big Ten.
Big Ten. I'm about to say the Big Ten.
They look good. In Big 12 basketball, Baylor,
Texas
Tech,
Oklahoma State.
Yeah, shout out to Coach Shakur at Texas, man. He got them boys
around.
He got
because it wasn't looking good for a minute. It wasn't looking good for a minute. It's like, oh, he might have stepped up too big, and he got Texas looking good.
He got a program.
But and shout out
Sarkeesian could see how to run one since he's over there with that fine black guy, Steve Sarkeesian.
Oh yeah. I got that. I told y'all. Threw it up in the air.
Look,
call it sunshine.
You know how disgusting I was when I looked at that picture. I was like,
yo, proud too.
Yeah,
proud.
Hey,
he was, his face in that picture was like, yes, I eat collard greens, yams.
He pulled a Russell Wilson. That's what he did. I ain't mad at him. But fellas, man, I'm gonna wrap it up. We at the hour and a half mark. I think that we got on some great topics. Again, you know, we want to thank everyone who always tuning in and chiming in, from Raymond B. Bennett, Glenn, OG Juan, Henny, Hannibal was up here early, TC, Aaron, Pooh, everybody who, you know, always showing us love and who, you know, jumps on and, you know, graces with their presence. So we appreciate y'all. But we can't go without leaving out with something good for your soul, man. We definitely got to go to, that is Sunday. All right.
That is Sunday.
Got to go to our deacon, my boy, Deacon Deshaun Aloquacious Rucker, man. Hit us with some of that say word, man. Uh-oh. I think he froze on us. The deacons.
All right. The word is not today.
See, you know what? That ain't nothing but the devil. That ain't nothing but the devil. You know what I mean? That's all right, though.
That's the word. Not today.
That's all right, though. Devil missed it, God kissed it. That's all right.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, on that note, thanks again for tuning in to another edition of Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. I'm your boy, Professional Sutton.
And I'm your boy, Chris G.
And on behalf of our deacon, Deshaun Rucker.
Cheers.
Hey.
Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. I'm your boy, Professional Sutton.
And I'm your boy, Chris G.
And it's your boy, The Rucker Report, a.k.a. Jerry.
This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game.
Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished.
This is Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast.
X about me.
With Professional Sutton.
You already know.
Chris G.
My homie.
And the Rucker Report.
My family, what up?
They for real.
All straight with no chaser.
Let the games begin.
Let's go. Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast.